welcome to Pure Food for Thought. I'm Phoebe of Phoebe's Pure Food, and I have a very special guest with us today. He is here in town, and he's here for a book signing. He's a local author from Bethlehem, Shane Burcaw. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
Okay, great.
Even if you didn't, I probably would have said that
You would have been
did.
like, yeah, thank you, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
But he wrote Laughing at My Nightmare, which you can pick up at the local bookstores. But he also authors a blog that has 500,000 followers.
Approximately, yeah.
Approximately 500,000 followers.
Yep.
So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is cool.
So I'm curious, Shane, what would be the one thing that you would hope people would learn from your story, especially with all of your writing and things like that?
That's a big question. I think the one thing I would want people to take away is that no matter who you are, what your problems are, because we all have problems, if you can make a mental effort to look at life from a more positive perspective, a more humorous perspective, it can make your adversity way easier to deal with, and all of the problems of life become much more manageable. So I think that that's what I've learned throughout my life in living with a disease called spinal muscular atrophy. And so, yeah, I hope that people will take away a new perspective on living more positively.
Living more positively. Because in reading your book, like, you talk about how you worked really hard to make sure people saw you differently, like saw you separate from your wheelchair.
Yeah.
Was that probably one of the biggest struggles growing up, especially in adolescence, in high school and in college?
Yeah. Throughout my life, and you can see this kind of transition happen throughout my book, I was obsessed with convincing the world that I was normal and that I wasn't defined by my wheelchair. And this mindset came from people that treated me differently. You know, strangers would come up to me and talk to me like this, like I can't understand. They saw the wheelchair and assumed that I wasn't all there. And so I wanted to change that mindset. I didn't want it to affect my social life and other stuff like that. And so, yeah, it was tough. I have always been very outspoken, and so I, had a great group of friends in elementary school, and, they saw past the wheelchair. And that kind of started a movement throughout my life of just trying to show people I was normal. And then later in my life, I realized that there's no point to worrying about that. Because we're all different. We all have problems, and it's so much easier to just accept that and not worry about convincing every person that I meet that I'm intelligent and not weird because of my wheelchair, but rather just go with the flow. And if awkward stuff happens, just laugh at it.
I think that, like, when you post these stories and you share that kind of experience, people probably with disabilities respond, right, and say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For making it okay for me to be comfortable with who I am. But my takeaway, at least what I read through the book, is I feel like you weren't alone. I feel like everyone in high school and everyone in elementary school in some way felt like that people still didn't see them for who they were. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you still have people without disabilities saying, thank you for making me feel comfortable?
Absolutely. It's funny. I get so many emails from people. It's kind of like they're telling me all about their life and all the things that they've been through. And, their end message is that my story has helped them think differently about what they've gone through or what they're going through. And what I've realized from that is kind of the message that I am trying to get at the end of my book, is that everyone on earth has adversity.
Right.
It can be lifelong, like diseases and loss, stuff like that, or it can be temporary, like you have a flat tire on the way to work and it pisses you off. But it's really your reaction to that adversity that dictates the quality of your life. At least that's my opinion. So.
And fear, like you talk a lot about, like you drop the word fear, like you drop the F-bomb in terms of like fear, like frequently in the book.
And
like
the
you
other
talk
F-bomb.
about, yes, you do. I think you probably do. When you talk about fear, you talk about, of course, the fear of dying. You talk about the fear, another fear that's like your greatest fear, or even greater than the fear of dying. But then you talk about how you push through it.
Yeah.
And in one chapter you talked about yelling. Was it basketball scores? I can't remember if it was basketball or football.
It was football.
Right? Okay. I can't remember which one it was.
You have to bring up the embarrassing moments.
Oh, I know.
Thank you.
But that was good. Like I've been in situations like that too. You just have to and you
Take
say
your mind
things.
off of it.
Yeah. So how do you put, like, first of all, to go through some of the fears that you have, but then to start a blog, to write a book, to travel and speak at travel engagements is so big that most people can't even get in front of a room and say, I can't get in front of a room of 6 people and talk.
Yeah.
Like, how do you push through that? Like, how do you lose yourself and push through that?
That's tough. Part of it is, I've been doing it for a while, and, in the beginning it was a lot harder than it is now. It involves trying really hard to not care what people think of you, and that's kind of the lesson I've been learning my whole life. I think a lot of it comes from my family. I was raised to not be afraid to speak my mind, to laugh at the problems that we have. If you sit around a dinner table with my family, it's just constant ridicule just of, the most private, embarrassing problems that we all have. And it's easier that way. It's easier to deal with insecurities that way than it is to let them ruin your life.
So knowing you have a support system,
System,
letting go of what people think. That's like the hardest thing to do, I think, letting go of what people think, because you always want to live up to other people's standards.
Yeah,
right? It's ridiculous, really.
It's tough.
At the end of the day,
you want people to like you, and so I don't know. I'm probably not good at it, but
I think you probably are. I mean, if you can drive down to Florida, and you were in a parade, right, a Disney parade.
Yeah, we got a speaking engagement at Disney World, Disneyland, Disney World. Which one's in Florida?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Is that
Sorry. And we got there, and they surprised us and said, "You're going to be leading the parade to Disney World today." So that was cool. And then the speaking engagement, they surprised us there too. It actually took place in Cinderella's castle.
Oh, okay.
So we got to go in and talk to all the employees in there. So that was cool too.
Now, here's a really important question. When they make a movie about you, have you decided who's going to play you? I know these are things that you think about sometimes.
I'm actually working on my acting career.
You are?
So yeah, I'm gonna play myself
You are?
probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
There's no one better for the role
Than
in
you.
my opinion.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's so conceited of me.
No, it's not. Are you kidding? I would probably say the same thing.
I'd like you to play me.
Who?
You.
Oh, you're right. It's the hair. I don't know that people would
yeah.
buy the hair thing. So I'm curious to know, especially since this is a pure food for thought.
Yeah.
You love sweet tea.
I love lots of things, but I love sweet tea most of all.
And you talk about what's it called? It's Fridays. It's called
No feeding tube Fridays. Yeah.
Well, most people are celebrating Meatless Mondays. You're like excited about feeding
Not
tube
using-
free Fridays.
Yeah.
So what do you like? Like, what are some of your favorite things to like indulge on?
I have a feeling the focus of your show is like healthy food. Am I right about
Yeah,
that?
but it doesn't have to be.
Because it's not at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm really into like mostly like potatoes. The potato family is like my
Really?
favorite family of food.
Okay.
Yeah, like mashed
browns.
potatoes, French fries, like cheese fries.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start salivating right
Uh-oh.
now.
Okay, because we don't have any of those.
Yeah, last night I had tater tots with ranch dressing and cheese on top. Like,
Really?
oh my God,
I don't know if
yeah.
it sounds really good or.
really terrible for you, but
Uh-huh.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to like work at keeping your weight up though too.
I
Right?
do. So
Yeah.
like for me, it doesn't matter.
You're like, please give me
yeah.
more tater tots.
Yeah.
So then, it's okay. Like it's all about balance, right? Because you do eat broccoli sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like we should play like a Jimmy Fallon style game. Like I'll name vegetables and you give me your first response.
Let's do it.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
I would say broccoli.
I'm not gonna give you one word, but
Oh,
I
uh-oh.
only eat the top of broccoli. Like I don't eat the stem
Would you
part.
like a broccoli? You're like a broccoli snob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That happened when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
I used to pretend I was a dinosaur, and I would eat the tops of the trees.
Uh-huh.
And then that just kind of stuck. I still think I'm a dinosaur.
Oh
So.
my gosh. Is that what inspired the logo for the
It
Laughing at
might
My
be,
Nightmare?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the nonprofit that you do, because this makes me think about the nonprofit that you started.
My broccoli habits remind you.
Yes,
of
it
that,
does.
right?
The dinosaur.
That makes sense. I started a nonprofit called Laughing at My Nightmare Inc.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we spread a message of positivity, helping people look at life in a more positive way so that they can be more effective and awesome. And we also help people affected by muscular dystrophy get the items that they need to
Right.
live healthy, productive lives.
Even like small items to big items, because I know your wheelchair. You said it's like very expensive.
Yeah,
You're
we-
fortunate
we
enough.
try to focus on things that like adaptive technology that will
Mhm.
help them in some way. So we're not going to buy them like a pen or
Right.
maybe an adaptive pen. That was a terrible thing to say.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we focus on things that can really help them, like medical equipment, accessible vehicles, stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And people can find that website where?
That's laughingatmynightmare.com.
Okay.
You can find out all about what we do. You can buy my book there, and all the proceeds go back to the nonprofit.
And
So
if you buy the book from the website, does it come with like a special signature or
I
something?
do. I autograph every
You
copy
do?
that we sell. Yeah.
Okay.
Occasionally, I'll write a little inappropriate joke, or
Oh, really?
actually, you can request when you
Uh-oh.
order if you'd like me to do something. I've done some things that I'm not proud of
Oh.
in those books.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah,
Okay.
we won't talk about that.
No, my mom's not watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should check out the laughingatmynightmare.com
Yeah.
for the merch that helps support the nonprofit.
Yep.
And you have videos,
Mhm.
your link to your blog,
Yep. It's all there.
and
Everything you could
everywhere
ever
you've been.
want. Yep.
Okay. You're just going to have to make a space for the Ellen show someday.
I know, someday.
I
when-
know. And the
when-
movie.
And the movie that you'll
Yeah.
be starring in.
I'll
Just-
be starring in that. You want all the glory. I don't think. I'll deliver your tea.
Perfect.
I'll make your tater tots.
You can do like a cameo.
Yeah. I'll make
Okay.
your French fries any which way you want them.
Any which way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love French fries.
Today?
I will get you French fries if you want them today.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, so make sure to check out Shane's site at laughingatmynightmare.com. I'm so glad you joined us.
Thank you for having me.
I think you have some really great lessons in the book. It's a really interesting read.
Thank you.
It's written for adults and teens.
Yeah, young adult. It's kind of inappropriate, so not too young adult.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. So great. We'll
Have
have to check
fun.
it out. Yes. And if you want to order the book online, you can find it at laughingatmynightmare.com. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And be sure to subscribe to the Pure Food for Thought episode, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks.